In part 2 of our 3-part interview with Tim Draper at Crypto Invest Summit, we discussed the idea of virtual citizenship.
We're suddenly at a place where we have Bitcoin and all these associated technologies, and they are dropping geographic borders. You know, you're no longer do you have a currency that's tied to a political force.
Right.
And there's no real reason to be sort of stuck with Nigerian naira or
like the thing that's going on in Venezuela, where
Venezuelan,
like all of a sudden you have to use their currency to do anything, like even get a passport.
Right, so they're all working in Bitcoin. That's a huge thing in Venezuela. In Argentina, there was a friend of mine who went through my son's Boost accelerator, and he said, well, my family's lost its fortune 3 times in my life just due to currency manipulation. It's in Argentina. And he said, so this volatility that we're seeing in Bitcoin is nothing. All I know is that it's generally volatile up, while as all these other currencies are always volatile down. And he said, I'm only 30 years old, so every decade my family has built and lost a fortune to this ridiculous manipulation that happens because they're government people, you know, and they're all kind of going, hey, what do we do to make ourselves richer or somehow to make the government richer at the expense of the people?
They lack the heart.
Yeah. So there's this great opportunity now with new currency that is global and everybody can use. And it's going to be really important. And so the geographic borders are going to start to fall, and we're going to be able to travel anywhere, communicate with anyone, and spend money anywhere. And this is kind of opening it up. It made me start thinking, why do we still have the tribalism? Why do we still have this fiefdom thing that where somehow this piece of land is run by that guy, whoever it is, or guy or girl, whoever it is, and why do they make all these decisions that have huge effects on us? Whereas if it were a little bit more of an open world.
Why do you think that's happening? Do you think people are like smartening up, that there's more of us and we can make those things?
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like,
I think it had to do.
Well, it's like we're more aware.
Yeah,
like,
we're more aware.
We're kind of figuring out this is what's going on in the world.
And that awareness has come because of email and Skype and all that communication, and travel's easier. And so we're all getting to know each other, and whereas our politicians could say it's us against them and create a war, we look and we go, war? What are you talking about? I have a whole bunch of friends over there. And we've had this, in fact, I've got family over there. I've got businesses over there. Right? Governments are responding in one of 2 ways. They're either saying they want to keep it the old way, and they say, we're going to control everything and we're not letting money out. So like the Chinese dictator is doing just that. And he's also saying, I'm president for life.
Yeah, pretty much.
And maybe even afterlife. And somehow a billion people are letting him do that, which is ridiculous because they were just freeing up. They all became it became a wealthy country and really an exciting, dynamic, entrepreneurial country. And all of a sudden, they clamped it down. He doesn't even know where the bread was buttered. It was like, hey, they were open. All that entrepreneurial spirit was unleashed. And now they're clamping down. Now, China's done this horrible thing. Japan hears that China's making Bitcoin illegal, and Japan says, Bitcoin's a national currency in Japan. Here's how you do an ICO. And the world starts opening up. The Estonian Prime Minister came to Draper University. I have a school that was started for entrepreneurs. Draper University of Heroes. And he came and he gave me a card that made me a virtual resident of Estonia. And so, you know, I can't do much with it. I can open a bank account or I can do business there without actually setting foot in Estonia. But it got me thinking about governments now sort of competing for us and sort of saying, how do I attract the entrepreneurs and the business people and the citizens and the money of the world? How do I attract it here? And you're starting to see other countries, Kazakhstan, Malaysia, Malta, all saying we're going to do a virtual citizenship.
Yeah.
And so that people are going to start thinking in terms of a virtual citizenship. Yeah, the Maltese Prime Minister, I got to meet him too, and he said, I said, well, you could have a lot more. How many Maltese do you have? And he said, like 500,000 or something. And I said, you could have 1 billion Maltese. You could have 1 billion virtual Maltese. They wouldn't even have to set foot on your island. And he went,
yeah.
This is a big, he's thinking this is great. Yeah. And you can, small countries can fight above their weight class, and they can produce new things. I mean, imagine this. You don't really need to have your Social Security or pension set up in the country that just happens to be your geographic territory. Yeah. It could be anywhere. You could have a lot of different things because these governments don't have to be tied to land. And then you could you could have your welfare system set up by a government that doesn't even have a landmass. It could be a satellite or just in the cloud.
Yeah, it's just so crazy to think about though, because like the political climate that we're in, there's like thousands of people marching to come to our country. We're trying to keep them out for whatever reason, but then you have this like virtual citizenship, and it's just like, how can we make this all work so that everybody finds their home?
Ooh, that's interesting thinking, because because countries often want to keep people out for one reason, which is that they offer too many services for them when they come in.
Right.
And then they want to attract them because they end up being the most entrepreneurial and most driven, all that. So you want immigrants to your country, but you're nervous about your landmass. I think that would be more of an issue in Malta, because you don't want 1 billion people on Malta. It's a very small island.
Excuse me.
Like, I'll be at the beach.
Most people be swimming around the outside. And so I think that this virtual thing could end up being something really magic for all of us, for the whole world, so that people could provide some of those services that government provides, the insurance, the safety, the whatever, and they can provide it virtually.
Which makes it exciting too, because then there's, places are known for being better at certain things.
Yeah.
You can then tap into all that, or certain things that you agree with. If you agree with the healthcare in one place, over here, like, you have that choice now, or to like customize what you're doing. Like,
you could customize your government.
Right.
You could actually figure out, hey, I want this service. I'm pretty sure that we wouldn't choose California for the DMV. just amongst us. I think we might choose like Estonia for our DMV. But there are but for the weather we want California.
Absolutely. Yeah, every day. But then it could also make governments want to make their services better, because
they'd have to compete.
Because they'd have to compete with somebody else.
This is the way
you bet. Everybody so they have to look at it in a new way now. Yeah. They used to say, this is my landmass and these are my people, and what I say goes.
Oh, too bad.
Right?
But they can't say that.
And all of a sudden they're saying, hey, how do we attract you? How do we get you here?
Yeah.
This is the bar across the board, which is better.
Oh yeah, they're going to provide so much better service.
We'll continue to talk with Tim Draper about Draper University and whether entrepreneurs are born or can they be made.